Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today's the 1st of March, so I thought I'd start off the month with a quick vlog. Just a quick update of what's happening so far this year. So I bought the GoPro camera about Christmas time. I've made a few little videos, but I haven't uploaded much to YouTube because it's a bit complicated. But the GoPro is basically better than my tablet, so it's hard to upload the videos. You can do it on my phone because I've got an iPhone and it works on my iPhone, but then I haven't got enough memory on the phone to store the big videos, because you have to save it onto the phone first before you can edit it and stuff. So I'm looking into getting a new laptop, so hopefully when that happens it all works. I should be able to record some better quality videos, upload quicker, and if I can do that, well then I'll be doing more videos. At the moment, well, over years really, I've spent hours and hours and hours recording videos and I can't do anything with them, so it's a bit of a waste. So I haven't bothered to film anything because I know that I can't do it. So I'm going to try and get these videos quite a bit shorter, then it's less memory, and I should be able to upload them a bit easier. So the last couple of days I've noticed with other people, I'll talk about other people first, a few little things on my mind that annoy me a little bit, and then I'll talk about myself and what I've just done now, and then what's happening in March and April and May. So a few little things that annoy me. Well done for people doing exercise. You know, I'm not going to say they're doing anything bad. It's good that they're doing exercise. But for example, if you just do an exercise brand new, you've never done it before, first ever time, or even in the first couple of weeks, it's not a personal record if you do something for the first ever time, because it's your first ever time. It's not a record, it's just you've never done it before. If you then do it week number 2 and you beat your goal or last week's figure, that's still not really a personal record. It's just a bit better than last week. It's probably going to be at least 4 weeks until you get into the routine of training, and then from 4 weeks to 8 weeks, that's when you start to see a few gains and things. But even after 8 weeks, you're still classed as a beginner. So anything you do gain is just the beginning gains. Really, you need to train for a year or so, constantly, following a training program. And then I'd say anything after a year, that's a personal record. Because you don't know what you can do really. Say you run, for example, say you run 5 miles. Right? It's the first ever time you've done 5 miles. It's not a personal record time because it's just your first ever one. Well done for doing it, you've achieved it. But you might have been able to go a bit faster, but you didn't know the track, you didn't know what was around the corner. So the second time you do it, you know there's a dog around the corner, you know there's a hill, you can pace it a bit better. The third time you do it, you can push a bit harder, but probably your body could have gone a bit better. You're not really at 100% effort and everything's running at 100%. So the next time you do it, I wouldn't class that as beating a goal because you still haven't done your maximum best effort. It's only really a personal record if you've beaten your maximum physical effort. Same with anything in life really. If you have a test or an exam and you don't revise for it and you get 40%, and then you revise a little bit and you get 50%, you didn't really improve, you just didn't try out the first time. If you revise a bit more, you get 60%. Well, that's still not your best because you could probably get 90% if you really try. So I wouldn't say these people should stop training. You know, well done for training, but stop hashtagging PR because it was not really a PR. It's a new thing, and that's just not my idea. That's just, I'm saying it very bluntly, basically, in a way you can understand. But that is a scientific thing as well. That for the first 4 weeks of any training program, you're just getting used to it. So say you want to lose weight or put on weight, either way. In the first 4 weeks, you're going to lose weight because your water's changed, your muscles changed, and your fat's changed. But if you lose 3 pounds, it doesn't mean you lost 3 pounds of fat. Unless you've done a body fat test, it's not 3 pounds of fat, it could be 3 pounds of sweat. If you change diet, it could have been that you were bloated and you had water retention in your belly, water in your muscles. It could be that you're constipated, so you've got 3 pounds of poo inside you, really. That, say how it is. Sometimes people weigh themselves in the evening and then they weigh themselves in the morning and then they say, oh, I've lost 3 pounds. No, well, you used to weigh yourself in the evening when you're at the heaviest, and now your personal trainer's told you to weigh yourself in the morning when you're at the lightest. You probably were that weight anyway, just you were doing it wrong in the first place. So again, with the PR thing, you haven't lost weight, you're just now doing it right. Now the next time you do it right and you've lost 3 pounds, then you have lost 3 pounds. Or if you go away on holiday and you put on 10 pounds because of the holiday, and then you get back on track and then you start training for a couple of weeks and then you lose 9 pounds and you say, hey, I've lost 9 pounds. No, you haven't, because you're still 1 pound up from what you were from anyway. Until you've lost 11 pounds, you're not anything different. So that's my little rant. Oh no, second rant actually, little thing. I've seen a lot of people now taking photos of vitamins. I take photos of vitamins. What's that noise? Oh, there's a truck outside. Yeah, I take vitamins and I take photos of my vitamins just to motivate myself to keep on track and taking them. Just as a diary to make sure I remember how many I've taken. I don't write it down anymore, but sometimes I forget last week if I took 2 or 3 or whatever, so I can look back on it. And it might motivate someone else to get into vitamins. They might look at my photos and think, I want to be a bit more like him, he's healthy, oh, he takes vitamins, I'll ask him a question of what he's taking. But I think I've said this before. No, I have said this before. I would never tell anybody to copy what I'm having, because vitamins are specific to the right person. So if you need vitamin C and your doctor's told you to take vitamin C, or you've got symptoms that vitamin C could help, take some vitamin C. Don't take vitamin C just because a company or a person tells you to. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't work for anybody. So I'm not trying to sell any vitamin in any brand or any make. But I've seen a lot of people now, they take photos of the vitamins, and I can answer any question about my vitamins, why, what, how many, where I get them from, price, cost, how I take them, what they taste like, would I recommend them, what have you. That's for another video though, I'm not going to do it now. But if someone said to me, what's that in your hand? 2 seconds, I can answer it straight away. There's 2 of them, 1 of them, 3 of them. That one says 3 times a day, 2 times a day. And the reason why I take that one, there was a girl the other day that had a photo with some vitamins, and one of them I didn't really recognise. I guessed what it might have been, and I think there was, one of them looked like an omega-3 because it's an oil and a capsule, so I guess there's that one. There's a couple of white tablets of different shapes, so I'm not really sure what they were. And then there was one which looked like a garlic clove, and I think actually it is a garlic clove, but I wouldn't really eat a whole garlic clove, just swallow it. You bad breath in the morning, isn't it? Why don't you just, if you're going to go that route, buy odourless garlic tablets, not eat a clove for garlic. But when I asked what it was, just the answer was garlic. At least say it's a clove of garlic. I take 1 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, chopped up or raw, or swallow it whole. And a bit of a reason why. I take it because it does this, not just garlic. Third rant is I always think my YouTube videos are a bit crap. You know, I just told you now my the GoPro 11 is the top one, but my tablet now isn't good enough to edit the videos, so I don't really know how to do really good edit video anyway. But I was used to using Power Director was what I got working on my laptop and tablet and my phone. I know how to chop it at the start, at the beginning, and I can speed it up or slow it down. Cut out the crap bits. I know how to do that. If it works, I used to know how to put the music over the top, make the volume up or down, and if I had them in like the library thing, you can put in a photo or an arrow or things like that. A bit of basic text, but I'm not a Hollywood expert. I don't do any cartoons and things like that. So my Instagram, YouTube and things, they're not the best edits like that. And then you see some people and you think, wow, they're really good. How do they do that? Maybe they work for Hollywood obviously some people have. When you're watching YouTube, these YouTube Kids videos who've got 10 million subscribers and followers, there's no way a 5-year-old edits these videos. They've obviously got parents behind the camera. It's a 4K camera, so they must have an amazing laptop or PC. And they got the lighting, as you can tell, because you can see in their eyeballs, they got the ring lights, and it's obviously edited. The 5-year-old hasn't done that, so somebody behind it's doing it, and I think it's probably a company. Really, it's a fake video. It's a movie. But there's some people who are amateurs. They got real jobs, and they're doing quite well. And I'm thinking, how have you done that? Because your followers has gone up overnight by 10,000. So I'm guessing you're paying for subscribers. I reckon they do that, or they pay for likes. And there's a couple of comments I saw ages ago about, oh, my subscribers have gone down. Is it because I'm not paying for the advert thing? So I think people do pay for subscribers and their videos go higher and likes and stuff. But the videos are quite good. I'm thinking, I don't know who you are really, but from your background and what you do, I don't think you've been to university to do editing or software or computer something. And sometimes the comments seem really basic, and then all of a sudden they bang out a really scientific comment. And I think behind the scenes they're paying somebody to do the work for them, and then they just put their face on it. So they might have a publisher to write a book for them. But what I a bit annoyed about really was, all I did was send a message to this person, one of them, and I just said, what camera do you use? I've seen you use a GoPro because on one of your photos you had a GoPro out, so you're using a GoPro, but probably don't use a GoPro all the time. You know, they use them for the action shots, but probably have a proper DSLR camera or maybe even a camcorder to make the videos and things. But then I said, well, what laptop do you use? Because obviously if you're doing 4K videos, you must have a gaming laptop or a really high quality PC. So the answer was not a laptop, on PC. So I put, what is it, a gaming PC? Just a general PC. That short answer is either a few different reasons why. Either an attitude problem and doesn't like talking to anybody, not just a fan, but anybody. God, I'm sure you could put a bit more effort into your conversations. Or I'm thinking you haven't got a clue what you've got. You've gone to a shop with a blank checkbook and said, I want a computer, buy me this. Or they don't do any of it themselves and they got someone to do it all for them. Either someone's doing it for them and they haven't got a clue, someone bought it for them and they haven't got a clue, or there's got a mega attitude problem and doesn't like talking to anybody. If someone said to me, how do you make your videos? I say, well, to be honest with you, I don't really know much about it. Especially like there's a GoPro 11 chat group on Facebook, and a lot of newbies are asking the same question about where do you get what batteries and what grips and what shop to get them from. Yeah, that's the same boring question. You could find that out yourself. Just go on Amazon or something. But a lot of people are asking the same question about what software do they use, and then you're getting these people now who are obviously professional photographers. So if you're a professional photographer, get out the chat. Why are you in the chat anyway? You obviously know everything. And they say, some of them say all the details about you need ISO this and you need take off your auto setting and the white balance and this and that. Some are quite good and informative, but some are getting a bit arrogant now and they're cocky, saying, shouldn't you done your research before you bought your GoPro? Oh God, all these newbies asking the same questions. Well, if you know the answer and you know everything, get out the group. Why are you in an information group if you know all the information and don't want the information and nobody can ask any questions anymore? So, I don't know everything, but if someone asked me a question, I'd say, I got a laptop, It's about 5 years old, so it's a bit slow. I got a tablet which is a year old. I bought it from the shop. It's got this much memory and I use this app. It's a bit slow. You might want to get a bit better one if you can afford it. Get this or this. I'm researching now, like I said, to get a new laptop. So I've been on the forums and I'm looking at like what standard specs you need to at least do a basic video. So I know I can answer it now before I even bought it. I need something like a laptop with either Intel i7 or AMD Ryzen 7. I think they're two different makes but on par with each other. 16GB of RAM would work, but 32GB of RAM would be obviously double. And you need a good graphics card. So I don't know what ones are which, but by the sounds of it, there's one called GeForce NVIDIA 3060 GTX. I think that's the one it's called. A lot of people are saying they got that and it works. A lot of people are saying that they use the gaming laptop, because if your gaming laptop can crunch all the games fast and good screen, then it can do a bit of a 4K video. So I know that. I'm not an expert. I got a GoPro Hero 11. I know it's 1080p, or you can do 2.7 or 4K. It's got 5.7K. People say, oh, why do you need to do 5.7K? Because your TV only goes up to 4K. Well, what they don't know is that you can do portrait and landscape at the same time, because it's got a big, massive field of view. So when it comes to editing, you can do Instagram portrait videos or YouTube landscape videos, and both. But at the moment, with other cameras, you've either got to put your phone portrait or hold the landscape. But because the GoPro's got a big, massive square view, you can do all of them. I know that, and I don't even know everything, but just a bit rude. But hang on, how much time are we on? Right, we're waffling on. What have I been doing? So over Christmas, bit of November, December, January, it was cold, but I went running quite a lot. Most of my days off, I managed to get a run in. There wasn't much of a plan. I'm not following a marathon plan, but what I did do on maybe the last 4 weeks, it looks like it's worked. I didn't actually plan it ahead, but it worked out. The first week I did, I'm not sure how many miles, and on my Garmin app it shows on that week I did, just for example, 20 something miles. Then the next week I did a little bit more, maybe 25 miles. I'm not sure what speed. I try and go as fast as I can on every run, so if I added up all the times and divided it by maybe the average speed might have gone up a bit. And then the third week, I had a week off. I actually went away to on holiday as well for a weekend, and I did a lot of training. Like I say training, but I did a lot of runs, and I managed to do 30 something miles. So it was higher, higher, and higher again. But then at the end of that week, it was quite hard. I started to have a bit of shin splints on my right shin. It was just a pain when I run. I could still run, but it was hurting every step. So I tried to run on the mud or the grass. I think on the last run I did on that week, I had to stop it to walk a little bit, and instead of doing another lap of this made route I decided to quit it and just finish off a bit shorter. But I still did higher and higher and higher. And then the fourth week, because I was injured, I still did manage to do a few, but I just did a bit less. So that actually works out as step loading. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. So what my goal is today, even though it's not on Monday, it's my day one, because I work a different shift pattern to everyone else. It's my day one, day off. So what I'm going to do, I won't be able to beat any figures until before Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe actually 5 days. What I want to do is beat this week what that number 1 week was. So as long as it goes up a little bit, so maybe 22 miles compared to that 20. The next week, I'll try and beat that last week as number 2. And then the third week, I'll try and beat the 30 odd miles, 3. And then week number 4, I'll try and have a rest week, but higher than that rest week. I'm not really looking into speed too much, because if I go on a short run, it'll be faster. Obviously, longer run will be slower. So I normally go by feel and weather and mood. So I look out the window, I say, oh, is it sunny? On the weather app, it's going to be raining in an hour. So I'll do an hour's run today, which is about 6 or 7 miles, say. And then tomorrow, if I'm feeling a bit tired or busy, or I might do a fast 3. But then, because that's only 9 miles, the next day I might push it out to whatever else number I need to make it. So by Sunday, I'll beat my goal. So not too worried about the speed too much. What I have done a couple of times, two times at one place. They're about a mile away from my house. It's quite nice actually. About a mile actually, yeah. About a mile away, they built a new factory, industrial warehouse type place. It's not used yet. So what I can do is I can run to there. It's about a mile. So if I just jog it at about 9 to 10 minute miles, nice and slow, take it easy. When I get there, there's no cars there, there's no lorries there, there's no businesses open yet, but there is a nice little straight where it goes up, and then there's a gate where it's not open yet because there's no factories there. That is about, I think, 100 something meters, because when I zoom in on it as far as I can on Google Earth, you can measure it on Google Earth, and it's about 100 meters or so, a bit more maybe. So you can sprint it. So what I've been doing is I jog there for a mile, have a bit of a rest, a bit of a stretch, a bit of a stretch out, and then I sprint up. And then the one week I sprinted up and I rested and I sprinted and sprinted. The last time I did it, I sprinted up, jogged back, sprinted up, jogged back, like 10 times or 12 times or so many times, however many times I either feel like doing, or if I'm in a rush, just do 6 times or something. But them sprints with the little jog actually averages out your speed to be faster than if you just did a slow jog the whole time. But it's good to get some anaerobic sprint speed training in. If you just do steady state jogs all the time, your muscles basically waste away, and then when you do want to sprint, you won't have any muscle power, or your brain will forget how to sprint, your arms will forget how to move. And when people say to sprint, you don't realise that you can actually forget how to do it. Years ago I was a really fast runner and I used to play rugby and I used to sprint everywhere. But if you say to me just sprint, your legs go like jelly and you think, oh, what's happening? You can forget. So your mind and your body needs to be doing these things, and then you get better at it the more times you do it. Forget about heart rate, because it's only 10 seconds and it's a sprint, so it's anaerobic, so my heart rate doesn't even go up in that short time. It might go to like 140, I think. Even though you're doing 100% speed, 100% effort for 10 seconds, your heart doesn't need to go. You could probably hold your breath for 10 seconds, so your heart doesn't go up. And then because you jog slowly, by the time you get back to the start line, your heart rate's gone down to 130, whatever anyway. So maybe that's just my fitness level. I'm fit enough to recover and go again. But it's not heart rate, it's just your legs are burning and you pump in and you try and go as fast as you can. So then what I do 10, look how many miles that is so far, remembering it's a mile to get back, think about how long I got left to go. If you're really fit, you can go for another 5 mile jog then, but if I'm short for time, that's the reason why I do these little short sprint runs, I'll then jog back. Remembering it's a mile back, mile there. If I've only done half a mile, what I might do is jog around the industrial area half a mile or so, just clocks up to about 3 miles or 4 miles. Like I said, the factories aren't used yet, but I did stick to the paths. There is a path around it a little bit, so I'd stuck to the public area. I didn't break into any area. I think there's cameras there, but I'm not sure if they're used or not, but nobody owns the factories yet, so I stuck to the area, jogged around the public bit you can go on, didn't go over any fences or anything, just on the public-y bit of a road. There's a bit of a field where they've started to dig, but they haven't done any groundwork yet, so I did jog in there a little bit just to go a loop. You know, in a couple of months' time, a couple of years' time, when it's up and running, there might be buildings or bushes or plants or something in the way, so I might not be able to go that route every time, but for now it's like your personal little playground where you can just do some sprints. There's no traffic, there's no one watching you. It's a nice new tarmac, it's nice and straight and flat. With your headphones on, it's hard to sprint in a housing estate. There's cars, there's bikes, there's dogs, there's things. But this is it's pretty much perfectly flat, perfectly straight. And you can do, if it is 100 metres, you could do a bit slower, 200 metre shuttles, 400 metre shuttles, 800 metre shuttles. Walk, rest, jog, rest, sprint, rest, half effort. If you're really keen, you could do some press-ups and some, I wouldn't do sit-ups on the tarmac, but you could do other stuff as well. If there's two of you, you could do relays or races or whatever, and then jog back. So that's what I've been doing. I'm not really sure. Hang on, my phone's bleeping. So I'm not really sure how fit I am really, because it's been winter. So as you can see here, when I'm in a long sleeve top, which is cold outside. I think it's about 4 degrees outside. Weather app says it feels like 1, but when you get going, you still do sweat. This is quite hot when you get going. And I wear long leggings. If it's really cold, I wear like thermally type ones. If it's not too cold, I wear they're a bit thinner, lighter ones. And if it's quite warm, I wear knee length ones. So that does affect you a little bit. They do some runs I've been out and I thought, oh, I'm too hot. I've worn gloves and a hat and a neck warmer, and you do feel a bit too hot. So that does slow you down a little bit. Over December it was icy, so went a couple of runs and the track was slippy, so you couldn't run any faster if you tried, because every time you take a step, you wheel spin, you slip. It's just dangerous. So just to jog out was good enough. In the rain, in the mud, you're not going to get a really good result. So over Christmas, December, January, February, everybody's times is slower. So I'm not too worried about that. But I did go for a run the other day. It was 5 miles. Yeah, I set out. I was just going to go and do, like, I think 9-minute miles in the dark. So I had my little new head torch on. I got 2 head torches. The one I normally use is a bit broken and it falls on my face. It's too heavy, so it just falls straight down. It's really good light, but it's too heavy. So I borrowed this other one, which is a battery powered, a smaller one. It's lighter, but I wasn't sure how powerful it was. So I thought I can't really go too far or fast in case it doesn't work. So I was going to go 9-minute miles. I set off, and then after the first mile, my watch was saying I was doing quite a good pace. Maybe because it was colder, I could push harder, and because it was dark, it takes your concentration away from the outside world, and you just go for it. You're just running. So maybe that's why. So I did 1 mile. It was a good time. Mile 2 was a really good time. For the pace, not world record time, but for me, it was a good pace for me. So then when I got to the 2.5 mile turnaround point, I was thinking I'm at a really good pace. So I thought for the 2.5 miles back, if I put a good effort in, I can take off a milestone good pace mark. What it is, 4 miles in 32 minutes or 8-minute miles. I know I've done it before, and I got there and I thought, I'm a minute ahead. I was at about 31 minutes. So even if I slow down now in the last mile, because another goal is 5 miles in 40 minutes, still 8-minute miles, but it's hard to keep up another 8-minute mile pace for another mile. I thought even if I slow down now a little bit, I'm still going to make it. On the last mile, or first mile from my house, there's a couple of obstacles which could slow you down. So there's gates you've got to stop and open. There's a steep hill you've got to go up. There's a sharp corner. There's another hill in a narrow pathway. So sometimes people walk their dogs down, so you have to get out their way. It was dark, but it was still about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I was expecting dog walkers or people on bikes to be in the way. And then there was a couple of sharp corners when you come back in the housing estate. If you're putting too much effort in and it's wet and slippy, you could turn and slip. So I try and take it easy, because when you're knackered at the end, that's when you fall and hurt of injuries. So I put a bit of effort in, but not 1,000%. And I was a minute under time. So in the dark, in the cold, with a torch I didn't know about, with long sleeve top, with long trousers, I was a minute faster than this goal sort of time. I've done it once before, a bit faster, but that was up a hill and then down the hill. So the up is a bit slower, but you're fresh for the first half anyway. Then the down is super fast, so possibly cheating. But this time I did it in the flat. So hopefully speed is going the right way. January I did 16 miles, so endurance is the right way. And then this morning I did a body fat test. I've got it in front of me, but you probably can't read it that far. But before I start talking about body fat percentages, really I should get my last result and compare the differences, because it's so easy to get a body fat percentage test and take it wrong. Because what you got to remember is body fat percentage is a percentage. So if someone says I'm 10% fat, you got to say to them 10% of what? Because 10% of 20 stone is still a lot of fat compared to 10% of 10 stone. So 10% 10 stone is 1 stone. 10% of 20 stone is 2 stone. I know it's the same percentage, but if you had your body was exactly the same bones, same muscle, but you just added an extra stone of fat on your belly, you'd notice it. So you need to know what the percentage is of to know is it any better, because you could easily manipulate the numbers by increasing your muscle mass, which would decrease your percentage of fat, but actually your fat hasn't gone down. It's the same amount of fat, it's just your body muscle's gone up. You could easily play around with your water as well, so you could dehydrate yourself or hydrate, and then that'd be different. So what you want to look at is, as well as your body fat percentage, look at your body fat in weight. So it looks like I'm 21.6 pounds of fat. Now my last test I did a couple of weeks ago, if that was 22 pounds of fat, it means I lost a bit of fat. If it was less than today, it means I put on fat weight. So I need to look at my body weight. Have I lost weight? Now I might not have lost weight because I might have put on muscle. So first of all, look at your weight, then look at body fat percentage, but then change it from percentage to actual pounds. Have I lost any fat? And then I look at the body fat percentage and then muscle percentage. So have I increased my muscle or decreased my muscle? I'm doing a lot of running, so really should be losing muscle. But if your legs hurt and then okay the next day, you might have grown a bit of muscle in your legs. And then I look at the water as well. I only look at the water. I'm not bothered too much about water, but everybody knows, well they should know, muscle is made out of water. So if you're dehydrated, your muscle will say less. And so I'm just going to look at the body fat the muscle and the water numbers just to make sure that there's nothing out of place. Because if it's really high compared to last week, it could show that it's a false reading. There's another number called the impedance, which you don't need to know about, but it just shows me that the machine is working properly. So there's a figure it needs to be close to, and if it's really far out of place, it could mean that the batteries need changing or the machine needs calibrating. But one little thing what I need to do is, I have done it before, the instruction booklet for the machine, I've read it before, but I remember reading ages ago, and there's something I need to look at now. The numbers don't add up, because it says on here I'm 182.6 pounds of weight, and it recommends I should be 185, 198. But it does say in it, how does it come out with that recommendation? Because next week, if I did it differently, it'll say a different recommendation. So it's not off. The recommended range isn't from your height and your age, you should be this weight. It's something to do with, if your body fat percentage is this, it means you should be in this sort of region. But then, when you add up the recommended ranges, they don't always add up. I remember reading somewhere, it says why, in like the questions and answers of, someone's asked it before. If you're recommending I should be 20% fat, that means then I should be 80% muscle. But their recommendations don't all add up. So I need to look at that, because people might not know about that, and they might see my numbers and go, hey Steve, your recommendations don't add up. Because it says I should be 185 to 198 pounds of weight. So fat should be 24 to 37, and lean should be 154 to 168. But they don't always add up that way. Sometimes they're a bit different. So I'm going to read the book, see what it says, do some adding up, make sure mine are right, and then really I could do with doing a graph if my laptop works. I know I tried it before a few weeks ago for someone else on my tablet. It didn't work. I can't do on the tablet what I want to do. I want to do a graph, I've done it before, where you got your lean weight at the bottom, and then you got your total weight at the top, and then you got your fat weight, and then you can see then in different colours, yeah, my lean weight's going up, my fat weight's coming down, so my body weight should be coming down, and then you can carry on that line and you can do projected annual or 3-year, 4-year, 5-year, whatever you want, plot of where you want to be. And then it doesn't always work out right, because unless you're doing a really good body fat test every single Saturday, it's just a guess, it's just an estimate. But you can see where you want to be and where realistically you could be, and then if you're way off, you know then something's gone wrong. So I use this as a little thing where I know that it could probably, if you're trying to, you could put on, say, half a pound or a quarter of a pound of muscle on each week. So your lean muscle is going to go up, and then you could probably, depending on what weight you are, lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. So you're losing 1 pound, you're gaining half a pound, so really your body weight is only going to go down half a pound. But that's why some people get confused and go, oh, I've been trying so hard this week, but my body weight's going up. That's probably because you've put on more muscle than you lost fat. So I need to do the graph. I'll show you what it is when I've done it, but it's just playing around. If I got some graph paper and these little thin pens I used to have, I can do it today, but it depends if I got the paper and the pens. If I can't do it on that, I'll try and do it on the laptop, but like I said, I'm not sure if my laptop works, and I can't remember on Excel how I used to do it. So it takes ages to play around it. Once I got it sorted, it works then. I need to play around with the axis and the of the tables and things first. But once I got it working, I'll show what I mean. But I'm not really sure what time that's on, but that's call up for a day. That's a good roundup of this year so far. I'm going to do some running today. It looks a bit grey, but I'm dressed ready. If I leave it any longer, it'll be afternoon, so I need to get out and do something. And then I'll get this uploaded. Hopefully I'll get some more videos soon and regular, like I keep saying. Okay, stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and see you again.